How the election bacchanal die away. In short, this is what I have to say. Let us forget fights and grudges and concentrate. Come, let us sit and try to relate. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So, this is our land. Come, my brother, come, my sister. Let us build a nation together. Oh, yeah. Oh, remember, the key to success is working hard. For our country, we must have regard. Forget all your differences, let we start to build. And want to progress, we surely will. Because
Yes, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends. Earlier, we are one call you today. And media to share the live. We had a talk this afternoon. Bless good afternoon. As you come up, share the live, share the live, share the live, family.
that is the main foundation. So, our land, come my brother, my sister, let us build a nation together.
I need somebody to call somebody who knows somebody. Earlier, we had a talk today. Bless good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends. Bless good afternoon to you coming from the 868-648 studio. Bless good afternoon.
So much of things that we need to see about.
I need somebody to call somebody who knows somebody. We had to talk today. Today's Trinidad and Tobago's business.
You know as well as I do the own.
Well, Sammy, I see in the building. Dalbelly, bless good afternoon, big brother. Rishi, big up yourself.
More than ever.
Robin, big up yourself as you come up, share the live. We got to talk today. We got to talk.
Production.
Hey.
To build a strong and better nation.
Hey.
That is the main foundation. So, hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, let us build a nation together.
Smith, bless good afternoon. Bless good afternoon, Smith.
This also goes for every Trinidadian who want to live in a foreign land.
Rishi, I see that we really need a next gas station in Point Fortin. I see that.
Instead of staying out there and breathing.
Ladies and gentlemen, only not today we had to talk state board today.
Sure.
Today we have to talk state board today.
Tolerance and production.
So we go bring some clarity to how this thing's supposed to be.
A strong and better nation.
The procedure that has been utilized over the years throughout Trinidad and Tobago when it comes to governance.
So
who have the responsibility, who has the authority to appoint a state board?
Sister, and let us build a nation together.
Bless the day. Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, as you come up, I encourage you to share the live. this blessed, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. But you see, we have some sun outside, so let me thank God for Jesus for that. Let us build a nation together. Understand the message from the songwriter. Happy lunchtime, Sunil. Let's build a nation together. Thank you much. Much love and respect. Thanks for the support. As you come up Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, only we had to get on into some audio. We have some tricks playing in Trinidad and Tobago. Hey. Jen Bless, good afternoon. Sunil, I see that. Ladies and gentlemen, I know for two things I want to send out a blessed good afternoon to my beautiful wives. And wherever you are, whether you're in gentlemen, you could be in Edinburgh 500, wherever you are this beautiful Wednesday. Again, we had real talk, and brothers and sisters, family and friends, all you know we had to talk. You know we had to talk. Our responsibilities to get you in the frame of mind with the relevant music. And when we get in the frame of mind, we get down to conversation because we have a responsibility to Trinidad and Tobago. So I send out some love to my UNC family. Big up yourself. To the coalition family, big up yourself. To each and every responsible union representative out there, big up yourself. You know I must send some love to TPP, Tobago, East Tobago, West, big up yourself. But all in all, we're sending some love to Trinidad and Tobago.
Only bringing you older and older. These wicked things that people that do. You don't realize you are worried. Tell them to never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking high. I see you tell them never ever worry. Don't mind how you're suffering by.
My responsibility is to tell you to never ever worry.
I'm saying it's true.
As of April 28th, we standing with a responsible government. So our responsibility is to bring clarity to the dotishness that has been practiced in this country. It's like brothers and sisters that care about the nation. It's like they're trying to shut down the country. I'm saying a blessed good afternoon to the traffic wardens throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Blessed good afternoon. Brothers and sisters, as I tell you, we have to make some relevant adjustments. Them people ain't come to work. Them is gangsters. Something is wrong in these people and them head, but we go get to that too. As you come up, I encourage you to share the live. And again, brothers and sisters, my responsibility. Let me just touch on 2-3 songs. Let's call somebody who knows somebody. I'm sending out some love to Brooklyn, to Manhattan, to Staten Island. I'm sending out some love to Queens, to the Bronx, ladies and gentlemen. Whether you're down in Long Island, big up yourself. I'm sending some love to my beautiful mother down there in Georgia. I'm saying big up to my stepfather and big up yourself. Hey, Trinidad and Tobago. We must say blessed good afternoon to Guyana, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, Barbados, Dominican Republic. All these racist people just reach out and say, we listening. So blessed good afternoon to the Caribbean.
We broke and they say that we that it's also foreign countries, spring is got my birthday. They lose faith in the country that they was born down the drain. They say no more, could we see happy times again? But
The man, we can't leave out Toronto. Toronto, big up yourself. Nothing but love.
seem to feel like that.
Big up to Miami. Big up to New Jersey.
We're not going to run.
All you talk to me.
Because now is the time. Don't show me patriotism. For we country is that is power. So our people need that today more than ever. But in our fight to recover, if ever you feel to surrender, it has one little thing that I want you all to remember. We could make it if we try. Just a little higher. If we just get one more try, I could be my sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, only I want to get on this thing so thing, everybody, because let me tell you something. The thing is so serious today that I need all you to call somebody who knows somebody, who link with somebody, somebody knows something, somebody know those who play in games, and it's time that brothers and sisters get to the reality of where it is we at, where we going, what we expect, the direction that Trinidad and Tobago is expecting for our new government. You understand? This thing is not a plain thing. So Trinidad and Tobago, I need all of you to join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, is your son Ruben, and Father, I just want to thank you. I want to give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. Father, I want to ask you to cover each and every one of our brothers and sisters, all those that will be coming up on the live, those that will be passing through. Father, I ask that you cover their houses, cover their businesses, cover their going outs and their coming ins. Father, we thank you for the spirit, the love, the unity that brothers and sisters are participating in Trinidad and Tobago. And Father, I pray those who pushing the negative narrative, Father, I pray that you break the negative vibes that they're coming with, Father, and send it back to the pits of hell. So, Father, I ask that you cover each and every persons in Trinidad and Tobago with the responsibility to bring about support. Father, we ask that you guide, you protect, you cover and every tech them around their offices, around their vehicles, around each and every person in their camp. Father, we have your way in Trinidad and Tobago and this state board situation. Father, I pray that the relevant thing would be done. Father, I pray that you take charge, you put your hand in this situation and bring about the relevant redress to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The right thing would be done. We proclaim it today in Jesus' name. And Father, we thank you. We thank you for answering prayers in advance. We thank you for covering us in advance. We thank you for keeping us and protecting us and having us in the land of the living. So, Father, I ask that you cover each and every word that is uttered out of my mouth. Father, I pray that you continue to use brothers and sisters in each and every sector, in every community. Give us the unction to function, Father. You order our steps. You order everything that is being said and done, Father. We say less of us, and more of you this beautiful afternoon. So, Lord, we lift up each and every ethnicity throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We lift up each and every religious body throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Father, we ask that you just take charge. Take charge, Lord. Father, we thank you. We give you all the praise. We give you all the honor and all the glory as we get down into today's conversation. No other name but in Jesus' name. Amen and amen. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, all you blessed. Good afternoon. Today happened to be one of those days. And when I say one of those days, well, it is basically that I'm telling you. Let me find something here for you first. Let me start from the top. We're talking state boards, right? So let me get to a piece of information here. I want to get this one out of the way. Brothers and sisters, this morning I woke up because all I know we have any conversation concerning the traffic wardens. Let me get this one out of the way first. The traffic wardens conversation, because these people playing mad. I don't understand how tree just now, Sammy. You'll get the CNC tree just now. This one here. Yesterday we had a conversation. Matter of fact, we've been speaking about this for the past 2-3 weeks. Now, my problem is not the traffic wardens on the whole. My problem is not how the traffic wardens and them function on the whole. As I express myself here on numerous times, I explained to you that in Point 14, especially where I am living, when I am out in Point 14 in the morning, I just understand the contribution of traffic. Because with speaking with other people, people wouldn't lie. It is important in their district too. So one would want to expect, to start with, we don't get to understand that the traffic the government, so hence the reason why we have any conversation. But while we have any conversation, brothers and sisters, we have to deal with particular issues that taking place in the traffic warden structure. Now, mind me, basic information, victimization apparently is a normal thing of the day. Now, if it is you're being real with yourself this afternoon, this blessed Wednesday, the 4th of June, in Trinidad and Tobago, based on the actions of the former administration, especially Mr. Rowley, because for some strange reason, as of yesterday, I listened to Mr. Faris Al-Rari speaking about integrity. I listened the next one who tried to send us back to Cole Pot, Mr. Keith Scotland, explain about corruption. They talk about state boards and the function, and this is what it is they're speaking about. As much as we thank them for the information, because let me be real, they claim to be educated people, so we go in with that. And 2-3 of them, they had on jackets, so we go in with that. Because in their eyesight, once they have on jackets, you don't want to be speaking thing with common sense. You don't want to be speaking the truth. Once you have on a jacket, speak in the PN. Based on what it is I am telling you, that and Tobago, how disappointed I am. I am seriously, seriously disappointed. Now, what it is I am disappointed for, you may ask. I'm this 28th, right, of April. The brothers and sisters of Trinidad and Tobago, we made a decision. Based on how the PNM structure was poorly representing the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we had an opportunity to pick a government, and we chose the United National Congress. We chose the coalition. Brothers and sisters in Tobago chose the TPP overwhelmingly. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this basic conversation I am telling you here is basic things. You can go up and check it. How you just pick a state board, who have the responsibility to pick a state board, who does appoint the state board, because all these are serious factors in what we're dealing with. While the media continue to play games and lie to you out there, we go bring some clarity to it. Now, remember, we had to touch on oil and gas as we navigate it. Before I forget. Right. So, only to see, based on the information here, Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessa, she spoke about the corporations and them not being responsible. She even was honest and fair and said, but wait, we have some UNC corporations that was they're lacking in updates. And this is very, very concerning. So we need to get our audits because, again, we have a new government. Let me get the relevant thing. Right? Put all your house in order. This is the conversation of the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. So my responsibility is to run the relevant content because I have a lot of games playing. Now, as much as the games is playing, we have people who claim to be standing in spiritual organizations. So today and all, the spiritual groups are going to run an audio from all here. From not all here, but a representative, well, I call him Chubby, impersonating, listen, impersonating sitting state board members because he calling in programs and making conversation on behalf of the PNM for the excuse why they have not retired, despite the fact that the PNM is out of office. So So let me start here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start it nice and neat. Let Ms. Kamala start the conversation.
The government is against what they call the financially irresponsible practices by state enterprises. Speaking at Thursday's post-cabinet press conference, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar said the government will not continue to act like an open bank vault by dumping money into state enterprises that do not submit proper accounting.
Now, we could just start right there. You want to find out what all the uncomfortable action is about. You want to find out why the PNM had a press conference yesterday. That is the answer right there. The new administration clearly explained that the government, now mind me, the new administration is who running the government on our behalf after April 28th. The new government is explaining that government in Trinidad and Tobago going forward will no longer be using state funds and running it like they is their personal business. You can spend money and then don't explain where the money is spent and expect us to continue moving on as normal. This is where PNM problem lies. This is where PNM supporters problem lies. Because our government is explaining to the citizens that going forward is clear transparency we come in with. You want to rent your building in Trinidad and Tobago? It's transparency because the monies that is being paid from the taxpayers' money. So it's fair that the taxpayers know. So if you don't want your name to call, keep out of the government's business. Basic information, whether you accept it or not, this is what it is the government standing by. Let me go again.
She said the government is willing to implement a temporary amnesty period for them to get up to date.
I believe CPEP did not file for a five-year period, and they still received about $500 million. I also believe Carl has not filed since 2015. So their new board.
No. As of yesterday, I was sure to explain that he here. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, all you need to be as real as possible with what it is breaking down to you here. All of a sudden, all of we who supported the coalition, all of us, who support the coalition, all of us who stand with Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, we stand with our members of parliament. Even we boy Macamela, who was robbed without a gun, we stand with Macamela. We stand with those, because I continue to tell all you, until the elections and boundary come out with a proper explanation with what took place in this 2025 general election. As far as I know, the United National Congress win all the seats in Trinidad and Tobago. Why I am saying that, and I will continue to repeat it, if Mr. Clyde Elder was not minding his business in the library, the media already gave him victory. They gave him victory. It was marketed globally, library, PNM won. And if Mr. Clyde wasn't minding his business and monitoring his figures, today, library would be a PNM district. But thank God. So based on the evidence that is out in the public domain, ain't nobody could convince me that PNM win one seat in this country. We starting there one time. The next conversation is, the Honorable Prime Minister is explaining to you. She explaining to me. And it is our responsibility to make sure that Trinidad and Tobago get clear understanding of what's taking place out here. Now, mind me, while on this same conversation with the traffic warden, now mind me, while on this same conversation, ladies and gentlemen, with State Board, you know I had to make calls because I cannot sit down and speak to you like it's I running the country. So I have to call those in authority. Now mind me, I got a little buff too, eh? But the reason why I make the calls is when it is this afternoon, I'm telling you that I spoke to a couple of ministers. Me lying to tell you that I spoke to a couple of ministers. You see, when I tell you the conversation coming out from the Honorable Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar in the last press conference, when it comes to State Board and wanting those who sit in there, it's time to go home. That is the conversation that we continuing to stand by in this country. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, let me be real with you. Let me phone go. I want to explain something to you, Clay. Let me touch back on my traffic warden structure. Yes, now I have an audio to run for you here. Only give me a second. My phone fall down. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we spoke about the traffic warden structure. We come to understand the traffic warden. Them have a chief. With the chief, they have is speaking about traffic wardens practicing. Let me play some big. All I had to listen to something. Sherry, like, we had to talk. Because this is what's going on in this country here. This is madness. This is craziness. Somebody needs to be held responsible. And as much as my governing authority is calling, time for the gods and them. Those who've been practicing wicked.
Jesus will provide. Father, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, watch it. He better than kiss and quail. He keep on putting bread on my table. And Lindos and Freddy, them not ready. And Jesus Christ got the recipe. He's my chief baker. So my bread basket always run over. So it overflow, overflow, overflow. And now I know, now I know, now I know. Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. But when my cupboard them empty, Jesus will provide. Father, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. So when you can't control your salary, watch it. And He's my provider, my Jehovah Jireh, and my supervisor. So my blessing run over. And so it overflow, overflow, overflow. And now I know, I like this part, watch it. It's like you're doing it for spite. No matter what, Jesus will provide. Jesus will provide. Yes, He will provide. I went my over them empty. Jesus. This one is for the elders, for the elders. Jesus will provide. Yes, He will provide. So when you can't find your medicine in the pharmacy, Jesus will, Jesus will provide.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to run an audio here for you. Right? Now, the heading on this audio is Good Night. Please help me, please, if you can. Thanks a lot. Now, mind me, after this audio, I have a next audio to run for you from a young lady from Dispatch. Because apparently, them ain't come to do the people's business of Trinidad and Tobago. Them is criminals. Them is bad on. Them responsibilities to call people. Now, listen to me. Since I have been speaking about the traffic warden situation, I told Trinidad and Tobago, listen to me, the amount of traffic wardens that personally reach out to me, and everybody have the same complaint concerning the same persons, the same name. But here what come and happen? You know when you're practicing folly now? When you're practicing folly, but you're folly now, you have power. So you come and take your child. This is what come and happen with them here. You come and take your child, skip Everybody who qualified, everybody who put in the work, everybody who understand that, listen to me, our responsibility is to do the best. We're given an opportunity to represent the children, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They're expecting us to cross the road. They're expecting when they stop us to ask for directions that we have the relevant answers. They're expecting us to help support when it comes to traffic in the country. Now, mind me, you take your child and you put your child in dispatch. This is the conversation. Now, mind me, all I know about, because when you search publicly, you could get who is the head of human resources. The head of human resources, for some strange reason, name keep calling. Now listen to what it is I am telling you here. I have a next audio from the head of human resources daughter. The head of human resources daughter. Well, to start with, yesterday when I did the live, she called me like a big badgeon from Sawa. I said, well, okay then. And then call a lady down in Point 40. Now mind me, listen, the move this lady had to make early this morning. Based on the threat that she leave on the lady phone, based on the level of criminal dotishness and the gangster way she spoke. Now you take this innocent lady that you done victimize, you done do wickedness. You take that innocent lady, you call she back, and you cuss away the lady because you ain't business. Because the traffic warden structure in Trinidad and Tobago, all your money put it together. Is all you're paying the traffic wardens, so all you could tell the traffic warden what time to come to work, shoot a WhatsApp text and tell them to go sour when they're living in the back of Cedros, shoot a WhatsApp text when you're living in Debe and tell you, listen to my media in Piaco this morning. This is how all have been running the people's business. This is how it is all they have been treating our families. And on top of that, when we speak about it, all you're randomly picking out people who all you're done victimized. But this video I'm going to run for you here, sister, because I know you're sitting down this afternoon, and you're listening to your mother. I know all you're listening. This video I'm going to run here, the name that you call me, the people that you're pointing out, and the people who you're cussing up and threatening, them really no message. Me them people yet. So that just shows the amount of damage all I was able to do under the PNM government. And next reason why we have to change boards. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take in this. But let's take in the wickedness that was practiced. And them stand up quarreling and pulling argument with we government and trying to put me in a long talk when we government say it's time to go to work. We have to talk state board we're talking. I want to get a traffic warden part out of you.
I am here to share some grievances that I have experienced during the past year as a traffic warden. I've been employed as a traffic warden since 2012. A renewable contract, a 3-year contract, renewable every 3 years. My contract was renewed every 3 years from 2012 up until 2024. In 2024, upon the expiration of my contract and the renewal of my contract wasn't renewed. I've been trying since then to get some sort of redress as to why my contract hasn't been renewed. I even visited the office at Port of Spain to find out what is happening, and to which nothing. Ms. Adele, now, on the other hand, upon my visit to the office there, she was very, very, very rude to me. Ms. Adele plays a big part when it comes to my renewal of my contract together with Mr. Neville Sanka, who is the chief traffic warden presently. I have been unemployed since July 2024 to date, without any reason why my contract wasn't renewed. Ms. Adel has been very, very, very biased, I must say, and is very disturbing. I would have lost my car I would have lost my house. Presently, I am living with my daughter. It is very hard being able not to pay bills, not to do anything, and again trying to get some kind of redress as to what it was the situation, what happened. Miss Adele has a lot to do with what happened. And I know that she has a lot because she is the human resource officer at the traffic warden division. And I know she had a lot to play with my renewal. And right now, all I am seeking is all I am seeking is somebody to help me to just get back my job. I am a good worker. I have all my appraisals. I have everything where I was recommended to be at higher positions. And again, all I am asking, I'm just asking for some sort of help, some way along the line to just get back my job and be able to work. Because that is all I want. I don't want anything else. All I want is to get back my job. And again, Miss Khadija Adele, she's a very unpleasant person, a very, very unpleasant person. I don't know. I really don't know, but she is a very unpleasant person.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, well, let's take into consideration all in now here. The one that she worked in 2012. You notice she spoke about a couple of appraisal, and with her appraisal, she was recommended for promotion, for elevation. Brothers and sisters, for some strange reason, Miss Adele. Now listen to me. If you remember when I started this traffic warden conversation, the conversation is that the traffic warden structure don't have adequate officers. They need officers. This is the excuse that they used to shoot people all over the country, to victimize people. So you slim down the squad. Now you notice, I don't know if you catch, Miss Adele, who was given an opportunity to represent the people. I don't want to miss it. You notice the young lady spoke about a gentleman too. That is the man who is allegedly, keyword, allegedly Rohan Sunanand's brother-in-law. So you see how everything tied back to the PNM again? Every single thing tied back to the PNM. Now listen to me. Then we don't leave out this part. The man talk about Miss Adele being a very unpleasant, very disrespectful. I don't know if it is your miss that she says she went up the head office to have a conversation. Miss Adele was very disrespectful. She wasn't pleasant to her. This is despite being an employee since 2012, doing the extra training, continuing to elevate, passing all the appraisals, getting the relevant recommendations. Because in every business is a departments. So one department said, based on this person's contribution, give this person a promotion and have different positions because they're doing the relevant training. The woman trained for command center. She trained for everything. Now listen. You want to ask how Miss Adele's daughter get in that day? The woman who leave this message here is one of the groups of people who is affected by Miss Adele. Now, Miss Adele, listen what I work for me. This is big man thing. I've been talking with my wife last night. And to all the state board members, well, you need to get it right first. Well, you need to get it right. And the only how you could get it right, you need to step aside and go and reflect. Well, you have to get it right because listen what it is this person is explaining. The lady says she lost her car. She lost her house. And she didn't sit down home quiet and lost these items. She was providing a service on top of that, doing extra training and was recommended for promotion. And Miss Adele and them rather traffic warden structure to run with a skeleton crew. Have qualified people home, knowing fully well the structure need more officers. We have qualified people already, have all the relevant training, years of service, and recommendations from the same traffic warden structure, just from a different department. You didn't renew the human's contract. You didn't do it respectfully because you didn't have an excuse. So when the lady confronts you face to face, disrespectful. This is what I'm saying. All you're calling random people all over the place and cussing and threatening people. You understand? And what it is all you're really not understanding is that we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, had enough. Ladies and gentlemen, I go carry on the whole audio for you. I can't run the whole audio for you. But I would see what I could do. I will try my best to see how we can handle this thing.
So I know Risia in this group, and Risia mother is Marcia Charles.
Now listen to me. With the traffic warden conversation, this person audio who I know run here, who lost their house, who lost their car, who lost their livelihood. And this name with this person calling, this is not the same person. After the conversation came out, they do so much damage and so much wickedness when it comes to the traffic warden structure and dispatching people. They're randomly calling people and cussing them. This is no lie. Let me take now, man.
So I know Risia in this group, and Risia mother is Marcia Charles. I know the issue with the whole drama with the transfer and thing, that had nothing to do with me. I don't understand, and I'm going to use expletives here, and I don't give a fuck.
Now you see where it gone there. Now this is dispatch. This is dispatch talking to active traffic warden. Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, right where I stop it is where the cussing starting. This is dispatch talking to an employee in the traffic warden. This is how they're speaking to people. I
don't understand how I get in that situation with you, with Marcia Charles and that transfer thing. Leave me to fuck alone.
Sorry about that. I got to pause there. I got to pause there. But this young lady who audio you're hearing here, that the same young lady they called me yesterday with her attitude to remind me how black, stupid, and dotish and ugly I is. No problem, sister. Me looking for, man. I don't mind already. So the fact that you on this same video put out that you have 2 children, and out of everything where I say, the only thing you got is that I black, ugly, and stupid and dotish, like you're looking for, man. And this is not the level of conversation that we have in here. The level of conversation is nobody called your name. All I did is ask the public, based on the actions that your mother practicing and the amount of people that is unemployed and those who are working in far zones. All I did was ask Trinidad and Tobago and ask my government to look into this traffic warden structure, because we need to find out, based on the years of experience that I am hearing, the type of traffic wardens that are not home, the type of traffic wardens that are being victimized. Based on that, I asked my government to look into that structure, because for some strange reason, Miss Adele name keep coming up. Along the way, I receive a phone call, and there I get to understand what's going on. But this is what I understood after all they started reaching out. So it shows that all they are cocoa in the sun. It shows that the same nasty PNM attitude that PNM practiced over the past 9 years, when they did their own supporters. When people come for things to eat, they tell them they're double dipping. You can't get a grant and a hamper. You're double dipping. You're greedy. You're eye long. You're wicked. This is what it is the PNM government allowed to happen. They take it and they transfer it to the traffic warden department. Now the conversation come up in the air. Could somebody please talk to Miss Adele? Could somebody find the person who actually over Miss Adele? That person who connected to the former Minister of Roads and Traffic. That same person who is like a mute and allowing brothers and sisters who working for $5,000. $5,000 at schools all over Trinidad and Tobago. So it is thoughtless, stupid, it is wicked, it is vindictive to move somebody from Toco and have them working in Point 14, traveling to work. On that traffic warden structure, where that same man in Toco, he know all the roads in Toco. 9 out of 10, he know all the shortcuts in Toco. 9 out of 10, if somebody's child get kidnapped by a school, the traffic wardens that is from the district will have a better understanding of the area so they could bring about some support until the police reach. Just in case, this is how we look at our traffic wardens. So this structure that Miss Adele and them use, the Miss Adele daughter, you don't know your sister. I don't care about you, you're not a contributing factor. We actually support positivity over here. But you can't victimize our brothers and sisters. You can't disrespect people and then don't want nobody to talk about it. Now, the first thing I want to leave a message with you, because I know you sit down listening. I can't run out your audio because the level of obscene language, you calling people that you sitting in dispatch. You sitting in dispatch and you calling people and letting them know straight. You're going to use explicit languages. And you cuss with the woman. You know what's stupid about it? The woman didn't have a clue what you're talking about. First, all you do wickedness. So that woman who it is your cuss with, so then 100% sure all you do that woman wickedness. The nice thing with it is that you threaten the woman on she phone. The good thing with it is that put the woman in a position to bring you before the court. Hence the reason why I wouldn't run out the entire audio. Because that is wickedness while you practice. Trinidad and Tobago, brothers and sisters, state board is the conversation. I needed to call somebody who knows somebody. Let me be real and reasonable as we navigate in Trinidad and Tobago. Brothers and sisters, we have a responsibility to ourselves. I needed to call somebody who knows somebody. Let them know we're out and about this blessed Wednesday. I'm going to take a little rest on that traffic warden thing. Let we hit the state board this afternoon. I needed to call somebody. You're blessed good afternoon. I get this boy open. Matter of fact, we're keeping it as real as possible.
Now the election back and I'll die away.
This is not a plain thing that is going on in Trinidad and Tobago. We have a responsibility to ourselves. We have a responsibility to our children. We have a responsibility to our families. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a responsibility to our nation. And we're doing this together.
Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So,
Miss Adele daughter, I'm going to sit down and you're taking it in and your mouth must be stretched long like long time. Understand the message and listen to what I'm telling you. When this live done, right now I'm moving on to the next topic. So you could pick up your phone and you call around. See if you could figure out some of the people that are victimized and you just open more cases. You just open it up. I want to say a blessed good afternoon to Mr. Raja Alexander. I want to say a blessed good afternoon to Mr. Sturge. Blessed good afternoon. Blessed good afternoon to the Honorable Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Prasad Sessa.
Forget all your differences.
Blessed good afternoon, Ms. Khadija. Make sure all mind all the business.
Because now, more than ever, we must
sending some love to Mr. Clyde Elder.
Tolerance.
Mr. Pararat, pick up yourself.
To build strong and better nation.
Mr. Dave Tanku, bless good afternoon.
That is the main foundation.
We say bless good afternoon to Anel Roberts. Let me make Anel Roberts a rough up, you know. Let's see what they're doing. We go get to all of that, ladies and gentlemen. We're building this nation together. Sending out much love to Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, the world in extension, to my UNC family, my coalition family. Ladies and gentlemen, to the anchor that stuck and hold Tobago, big up yourself. Oh, we talking state board.
So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how it is going. We pay 2 bills and we will be back.
Remember the song used to make you rock away. Those were the days when love used to reign. Hey. We danced all night to the songs they played. We can come again, do it just the same. Hey. Now I feel it in my heart. We in such a golden time at the park. Yeah. Now there's hardly any safe place left to go.
Oh yeah. Get it. Hey. Alright. This one's a big business, they say. I'm here doubting. You see your land son.
Yeah, always the time to come home and do something. Instead of
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, family and friends, earlier we head into the next conversation here. The conversation, matter of fact, in Trinidad and Tobago is 59 minutes after 12 o'clock and beautiful. It's the 4th of June and today is Wednesday. Brothers and sisters, I needed to call somebody who knows somebody. I know we just navigate. We know climax out at lunchtime. You're probably heading back out to work. Big up yourself. Make sure when you put it down in the office, slow it down a little bit. If it is you happen to be on work, don't mash up your phone. Rest it in a safe place while we're talking. If you're traveling, make sure raise the volume a little bit. Let the man next day here because we're keeping it as real as possible. We're not playing in Trinidad and Tobago. If it is you happen to be home around the house, please put it on the TV now, man. Let me shoot our blog this afternoon. But today we have to keep it as real as possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking state board. And I said, no, our Honorable Prime Minister already expressed what we're dealing with when we're talking about this state board. Brothers and sisters, supposed to. Now, mind me ain't just come here to sell you no dream, right? Me ain't come here to play no games with you. When I don't talk to you, you yourself have to go and do your research. I want to encourage you. Go and ask, type up state board who have the responsibility to pick the state board. How often a state board does be rotated? What is the whole reason for a state board? So I will give my basic perception here in Trinidad and Tobago. What is a state board and the level of madness was taking place? And I don't understand why it is these people and them don't want to go. The conversation with this Wati conversation in Pit Depot. Now mind me, I realize brothers and sisters in this country, especially the PNM, continuing to play games, especially with our money. Now, brothers and sisters, the reality is, and I just want you to just take into consideration what it is I am telling you. We started with NGC board. Now listen to me. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Did you see the information about the swearing in of a chairman of NGC board? Did you hear the conversation that NGC, the man who was sitting as chairman, he retired a couple of weeks ago? Now mind me. Listen to the X and dabs and the dotish games that the PNM is playing. Now, it's sad to see that Pastor Chubby come and get yourself tied up in this. Now, listen to the dotishness with Pastor Chubby and them doing, them impersonating brothers and sisters who actually sitting on state boards. This is to start with, and I will bring you the evidence here today. I would bring you the evidence to show you the type of corruption that the PNM does practice, and in their mind is a normal thing. In Pastor Chubby's mind, Pastor Chubby don't understand that he's responsible for the people of Trinidad and Tobago just as much as the politician. He have no reason to be lying, because unlike the politicians, people is expecting him to be a God-fearing man, a man of reasoning, a man of understanding, not a man that is a blatant liar, will come forward and present himself in a capacity that he don't have, he don't own, he's not qualified for. We feel we didn't follow the information coming from Patrick Manning. All they get money, you know. All they get money to do education and didn't go to school, you know. So stop pretending for people in Trinidad and Tobago, please, you know. Stop it, you know. Stop it. Ladies and gentlemen, let me be real and reasonable. Now, mind me, the factual conversation with a state board, and just in case you don't know, my name is Irvin Felix. Yes, they would tell you that I'm black and I'm ugly, I'm stupid and I'm dotish. You know what they wouldn't tell you? What they wouldn't explain to you, especially the conversation with the state boards, is that a state board, it come like a second government. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, is the government, and we elect a group of brothers and sisters. And in every district, we have an opportunity to appoint one person. Every political party have an opportunity to present a person to represent a district. This group of persons forms the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Hence the reason why it takes the United National Congress and the Coalition, the TPP, and the PNM. Although elections and boundaries cannot bring us the factual data how PNM win a seat, but we have to go with this information because I would give. So this is what we're working with. So it takes the United National Congress, the Coalition, the TPP, and the PNM to form the government of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, brothers and sisters, this is dotishness, because I stand up and listen to that rubbish press conference yesterday. And they're explaining to you now that those who sit on the state board, they don't really have to retire. They don't have to resign. And they are good representatives. Let me explain something to you, Trinidad and Tobago. And if we're holding on to this fact today, well, then this should be the basic fact of why the state boards have to be rotated. Check me. Bless God. Bless God. The government of Trinidad and Tobago, being led by Stuart Young and Rowley, failed the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They didn't pay our bills, our monies were spent, and they cannot point us in the direction to where the money was spent. That is just a short breakdown of where we are today in Trinidad and Tobago. The Rowley administration and Stuart Young administration, which is the same thing, but they failed the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So just for today, we just resting the racial thing, the propaganda machine. But here it is. They failed the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, just in case you don't know, you see the state boards, those who sit on the state board, that come like a second form of government. Actually, that is a second form of government. Although the positions that they hold, normally it is politically aligned. Because mind me, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, which is Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar, she have a responsibility to pick her state boards. Those who see the vision she's talking about, those who understand the vision she's talking about, because you don't want no confusion going forward. So you would want brothers and sisters, not who is Indian alone or who is Hindu alone, because this is the narrative that the PNM is putting out. State boards, you need to have relevant persons who understand what you come in with. Now listen, the fact that Wati in Pibdeco, the PNM lost election on April 28th. Those persons were appointed by the former administration. The authority of the former administration ends. You see, as soon as Rowley and the crew came up and they threw in the towel, because those of us who was in the UNC, those of us who in the coalition, those of us who in the TPP, we had to wait to find out when we people win the seat. The PNM put out the announcement in advance While our brothers and sisters that we supported was counting ballot paper, counting votes, they had already known. I don't know how they was able to deliver that piece of information. But brothers and sisters, suffer it to be so. This is where we are in Trinidad and Tobago. Wati them was appointed by the PNM government. Now this is Spit Depco we're talking about. This is the port we're talking about. This is shipping and handling we're talking about. Now, over the years in Trinidad and Tobago, as somebody that does receive items coming from abroad, again, comfortably, over the years, the conversation continued to be scanners. As much as it's the government responsibility to put the resources in place, it's those who actually sitting on the state boards to show and continue to keep it real and factual how important this is. So you need brothers and sisters that sitting on state boards that understand that, yes, I might be supporting PNM or I might be supporting UNC. But listen to me, the importance of having scanners on the port, we cannot go a week. We can't go 2 weeks without scanners because God knows what might be able to pass through and end up in the population of Trinidad and Tobago. Whether it be drugs, guns, any form of contraband, this is not the activities that we want. So those who have the responsibility by the state boards, it is their responsibility to endorse, matter of fact, come up with and install the relevant structures because they are given an opportunity from the governing authority. Now the problem with Trinidad and Tobago find itself in, the problem what the viewers and the listeners found themselves in, is that the PNM coming to all you and telling all you, they're going to the media because they could go by CNC3 with any type of garbage they want. They could do this. And they're telling you, the citizens, that those who are chosen on the state boards, those who are sitting on the state boards, this is not how it is, it does go. And let me explain something to you, Trinidad and Tobago. The Prime Minister have a responsibility at Trinidad and Tobago to put a structure in place that we could go forward successfully. Wholly and solely, if the Prime Minister fail, everybody will come out clearly and tell you that the Prime Minister failed. You see how it is we could come out clearly and tell you that Rowley drastically failed. Stuart Young is a serious failure. So if Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessa failed, nobody wouldn't sugarcoat it, they wouldn't hide it. This is what it is they want. They want the government, they want the administration, they want our leaders to fail. Now listen to me. Ms. Kamala Prasad Bissessa, we already come to terms as an educated woman. We find ourselves in Trinidad and Tobago, those that was appointed under the PNN. Nobody in saying that they're not educated. Nobody in saying that, nobody in forfeiting the level of education. But the fact that you are an educated person and your nation depending on you, and a lot of you played politics, hence the reason why in the traffic warden structure, they're calling random employees and cussing them and threatening them. This is what they're doing because they did not do their job. And if you did not do your job, especially and you had your job because of the former administration, because of the PNM, you was given an opportunity to handle a position. You sat on a state board and the PNM drastically failed. Again, on a daily basis, we can ask all the questions today. Where were some of these people when Rowley was telling them to shut them out? Where were these people when the PNM was only utilizing fair-skinned people? Not even Indian people, fair-skinned people. We didn't have one African or a proper Indian in the engine room at the PNM. Not one. Because those who are Indian in the PNM and end up reaching close to Rowley, they don't consider themselves Indian. And I could say that comfortably today. They sold out their country, they sold out their legacy, they sold out their family history. A couple of dollars. Because for me, as an African, watching from the outside, I watch a next African, listen, I watch a next African like myself stand up on radio. They did it on social media. Where they didn't bad talk Indian people is where they did not get the opportunity to. They bad talk Indian people like madness. And not one Indian in the PNM open them out. Whether it be the Wali, whether it be a wedding, whether it be what, not one Indian. But have a girl there, she nicked from here quite back so. She says she have 100 strong, educated Indian people to fight for PNM. She claimed to be a Hindu. She didn't hear none of them African when they were bringing down the Hindu community on Diwali. She didn't hear a word. She didn't say a word. So this is to show you the level of hypocrites that we are dealing with. They don't have nobody interest at heart. They don't care about us. Right now they're trying to hold our country at ransom. At ransom with rogue elements that they put in places, contracts that they set. They had no reason to. They already lost the contract. They already lost the election. What is the former Minister of National Security doing by that building? Why he had to be there that day? They went to pick up a check. Convenient. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, our honorable Prime Minister have the responsibility. Now listen, I just told you, the NGC board, the chairman from there, resigned a couple of weeks ago because it had not everybody dotish. It had people with sense too. Now, the United National Congress, we have the ministers of energies. Now, we just following the conversation. The UNC, the coalition, to come together in the conversation because we have to get our brothers. So right now, what we can deal with? We can deal with NGC. Well, here what's going to happen to you, Munila. Mr. Munila. Well, we use the lion. Lion, here what's going on with you by the time. We have to appoint this man in the board. We go organize a date. Here what you doing? You need to jump on a plane and you need to head out of this country and go up the road and look to have conversations. Because you see that refinery, we really have to start to work. You see this country, we go really have to jumpstart. Now, you know the only reason why we cannot do that? You know the reason why the government, Ms. Kamala Prasad, Mr. cannot do that? It's because the board already resigned. So now the current government have the authority to put the relevant structure in place. Hence the reason Mr. Munilal had to fly out. Partners, your ministry ready. You pump. Understand what I'm telling you. The Ministry of Energy, the chairman, he resigned a couple of weeks ago. Now we now get a new chairman. Wait, I forget his name. We now get a new chairman. But before we get a new chairman, look what was able to be done. We get to understand it has gas on the East Coast. We get to understand it has oil in Sandu. We get to understand, not the Sandu, through the fields. We get to understand we're finding oil and all kind of things popping up all over the place. You know why we getting them things? Because our government is in charge of that department. What we're saying is the government already won the election. In order for our government to function effectively, this is to the PNM brothers and sisters. We have no reason to be coming today to explain to Trinidad and Tobago. It is the prime ministers and her cabinet, those who rule, the ruling persons in the cabinet has the responsibility to pick the state boards. Now, mind me, when they pick their brothers and sisters, the president comes in. You anoint? We anoint? All right, time to head to. This is the structure. So the president of Trinidad and Tobago is basically backed up and waiting to swear in boards. The prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago is basically backed up and waiting to install boards. The brothers and sisters who have the responsibility to be on the boards, waiting. And those who lost, who are supporting those who lost the election, because the structure that they used over the years was a failed structure. It don't have one department that was running function efficiently in Trinidad and Tobago. That is basic facts. The only reason why brothers and sisters could be trying to stay on boards today is because they're trying for our country to collapse. They want to bring strife. They want to bring mayhem. They want people to start to say that the government ain't doing nothing. The government wicked. They win the election and they turn their back on we. That is what they want people to start to say in this country. But I want every citizen in Trinidad and Tobago to know the fact that they don't want to hand over the authority to the ruling administration, so the ruling administration could do the customary practice that has been practiced over the years. Government come, government go. So what you are seeing blatantly in Trinidad and Tobago is that the typical bullying structure that the former Prime Minister, which is Mr. Rowley, and his joking comedian partner, which is Mr. Stuart Young, that bullying structure that they installed, but it damaged Trinidad and Tobago. It damaged us. But I am here to tell you today, this is a simple conversation that don't need debating. Those who have the opportunity to sit on state boards, normally it's people who are masters in their fields. Listen, we're talking about those who go the extra mile in their field. I want to encourage you, when you have the time, chip back, go on NGC board. That's now I think I had the man information. Go on NGC board. Understand what we're dealing with it. And track down the gentleman that is given the opportunity to represent, to be the chairman of NGC. Follow the man history, and no joker. Nobody pick up at the side of the road. That way they're trying to mark it. The fact that they sat, the fact that Faris and Stuart and all of them sat down with boards, and they didn't allow the board them to work. They tell the board how to work. This is why them themselves could tell we that Mr. Imbert is the greatest Minister of Finance, and Shamfa Kojo could come and tell we that the monies that she getting for education is inadequate. But he's the greatest Minister of Finance. And in the next breath, tell us that the children of Trinidad and Tobago is the future of Trinidad and Tobago. But yet still, you didn't make no investment when it comes to books, the infrastructure, the building, the security guard, nothing you made investment in. But the children are the future. Ladies and gentlemen, when Kamala won the election in 2010, she left some of the board members of the PNM. Now, mind me, this is what I love with my people. Let me get this on the screen. This is what I love with my people. This is why we're talking today. When Ms. Kamala Persad won the election in 2010, she left some of the board members of the PNM there. And we all saw what happened in 2015. I think that thank you. Now, mind me, there's also a structure, ladies and gentlemen. If you was a board member, putting in your work, you also have an opportunity to apply back for the job. So when you hear the United National Congress, when you hear the coalition calling for these boards to be dissolved, it's because a new structure must be implemented. The former PNM structure has not worked. It don't work. It would not work. So then the fact that on April 28th, we made up our mind we're not continuing with the PNM, we cannot continue with the PNM, then now is the time for us to stand with the United National Congress and the coalition. And Trinidad and Tobago, brothers and sisters, no matter where you're at, once you hear any song of my voice, we need to endorse the Prime Minister with this conversation. Now we're going to bring you a piece of tape here. Now I'm telling you straight, this audio I'm going to run here for you. I'm going to send the audio. Because mind me, I don't talk to my member of parliament for point 14, and he don't give me the breakdown. But I done shoot out the conversation to Mr. Arnold Roberts. Remember the conversation that they win the election and UNC what's they dealing with nobody and all of them up the road and they're linemen and all of them. Remember the conversation that they put out last week and thing? Well, all right, listen what it is I'm telling you today. So I'm going to shoot the thing to Mr. Arnold Roberts. Or let me make Arnold Roberts rough me up. They're lying to tell us. But he rough me up in a good way. Because the same thing I was telling already the other day, But at the end of the day, we all come to terms with what taking place, because let me show you something. Now, we can't expect, again, Trinidad and Tobago, we cannot expect Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar and Anil Roberts and Khadija Amin and Philip Edward Alexander. These are the people that we depending on to guide us forward, to carry us forward, to focus and come up with plans, come up with structures while they monitor and while we mind our business. So we cannot afford to allow them to continue every day coming out and pelting court. As much as it is, we want them to get their adequate rest. We want them to make sure and come up with their ideas. Think about it carefully. Think about it, because God knows, ladies and gentlemen, what it is they promoting is love. And you don't want no rogue element. You don't want no negative factor to get in the middle of it. So that is the next reason why my government is right. Is these boards have to be dissolved. They must be dissolved. To the PNM people, all are aware that those who sitting on the board, who was picked to represent on the board, they get picked because they're supposed to be masters in their fields. That is why they just pick people on the board. To bring about support, to bring about redress. And the fact that those educated people under the PNM did not have enough skill, enough vigor to come up with relative support, to bring about support. They didn't do it. So then today, we have to look for a fresh batch of educated people. This is the conversation. This has nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with race. We need economists who are educated too. Because this is what the whole board situation, this is what it is about. Human resources and all these kind of things. This is the bottom line of it, the running of the country. So listen, when the Prime Minister explained to you that, listen, we cannot go forward if it is we don't get the authority. If I telling you, you are being even hand over yet. All these people was given fair and adequate time, get all your house in order so we could bring in the brothers and sisters. You could apply back for the work. We will do an assessment, and if your contribution was valid and you wasn't a victimizer and you're that good at your job, come on, let me be real. Let us be real. Let us be real. But the fact that PNM practice wickedness, now that is not the bad part of all we are telling you with that state board. That is not the bad part. Listen, where is the dangerous part? The PNM pick a man. Now remember, listen what I'm telling you. Now remember, the reason why Africans didn't have nothing in Trinidad and Tobago is because Indian people blocking we. Indian fighting we down, Indian don't want we to have nothing. I'm going to give you a story here with only Africans. What's stupid about this state board thing here? The PNM turned to a man that is an African. That same man that they turned to and allow that man to call a media house to impersonate a state board representative. Start with that bad. The second thing is, that person who called to impersonate a state board representative is a pastor. Next problem, next red flag. Now, the only reason why they didn't call as a genuine citizen with genuine information. They called to defend the PNM. You see where Robin put up? We need people who are qualified for the week. Come on now, man, on the board, and believe me, we have tons of people who are qualified. Robin, here what's going on. The only people who seen them thing, the only people who could sit down and boast about having a lot of qualified people is people who don't care nothing about nobody's race. There's people who don't care nothing about which part you're from and how much time you just pray. Once you pray and thank God for you, but yes, we have business to handle. You could work, then we handle business now, man. The PNM make a pastor calling a radio station. I want you to listen to this audio. I want you to listen to this carefully and closely. Listen to it. Then I will give you my points on it.
Caller. What's that?
You are live on air, caller.
Yeah, I want to correct you with something because I keep hearing you and others say that.
Caller, who is this? Who is this?
About the board appointments.
Caller, who is this?
You are saying that the boards should go and everybody should go.
Now listen to me. This is an African here calling in the next African program. I is an African covering the conversation. Listen what I'm telling you. When you look to the community predominantly, this is a basic conversation. As much as it does want to act like East Indian people don't exist, predominantly some of the most impoverished areas in Trinidad and Tobago is in the PNM areas, in the African communities. I am not telling you my East Indian brothers and sisters ain't going through the thing they are. But I am telling you, where you see groups of poor people living together predominantly, that is in the PNM areas. Predominantly in the African culture. So each and every one of us as Africans have a responsibility when it is something is being done. I don't care who bring the message. If something is being done to uplift the people, it don't have to be me directly. If something is being done to uplift the people, because at the end of the day, what it is the United National Congress is marketing is what Trinidad and Tobago needs. Listen with this pastor took this conversation representing as an African. Now he only did this in the name of the PNM. He only did this in the name of, I don't understand, but thank God Seo Chung didn't win the election because Seo Chung, why they would have go and walk on it straight. Based on how them functioning, thank God Seo Chung get himself out of that. But let me go, ladies and gentlemen.
When I wanted to hand in my resignation, the minister would have said to me and said to other board colleagues not to hand.
Well, this is Pastor Chubby here impersonating a board representative. Now, I just want you, when you have time, you could chip over to 91.9, watch the hours where I was working for election, and look for the person who was sitting there before. Now, I don't know if that is a state board. I remember, African to African again, remember, we don't have nothing. Remember, the only reason why we don't have nothing is because I'm Indian. But here it is. While he was sitting by Iowa, decide to play PNM because apparently, honestly, when I reached, I didn't know which side of the fence Iowa was standing. But like he picked up on it. And he decided to lead him on business. You resign like a big boy because Iowa can't get nobody. Nobody don't know nobody. You have nobody else skill to carry on a program in Trinidad and Tobago. And you gone across the road like a big boy. Didn't have enough skill. You didn't have enough lyrics. You didn't have enough information to convince citizens in Trinidad and Tobago to vote for the failing government he supported. Today he had the opportunity still to call in programs and impersonate board representatives. I want to ask Pastor Chubby, which one of the boards did PNM government allow you to sit on? Where were you? While you lied to people publicly as a pastor. Boy, I'm sorry for the people all you're praying for.
Caller. You are live on air, caller.
Yeah, I want to correct you with something because I keep hearing you and others say that.
Caller, who is this? Who is this?
About the board appointments.
Caller, who is this?
You are saying that the boards should go and everybody should go.
All of them.
But then
every single one of them.
When I wanted to hand in my resignation, the minister would have said to me and said to other board colleagues not to hand in our resignation because if we do that, the members of staff will not get paid. So she's saying to us to hold on as a board, as an interim board, so that staff members will be able to get paid until they there's a board put in place. So even though you all are saying to us to go, all you just go.
Yeah, every one of them.
Right, but the ministers are not saying that to us. The minister is saying to us. So
No, I don't know if you realize Wall Street don't pick up on here already. Wall Street say every one of them. Wall Street don't realize it's a fraud he dealing with. But let me go again.
One, because if you all leave, the members of staff will not be paid.
Well, they go make it up.
Now again, you listen to the excuse that Pastor Chubby calling Wall Street and explain to him. Pastor Chubby is explaining that our ministers tell them, because Pastor Chubby apparently sitting on a board. Investigation again. Because now this is talk for conversation, you know. This is why we have to follow the money. Because remember, we have hundreds of millions, matter of fact, we have billions of dollars unaccounted for. So apparently we had to check down by Pastor Chubby a banking account. Because he's sitting on a board. He was collecting pay for being a board representative. Only there we go. Where he majoring, God alone know. Because he's a pastor and he can't tell the truth. So that is just to show you're not even majoring in being a pastor. You lies too much. Let me go again.
Binding contract. And if you all breach the contract, we can take you all to court.
Pastor Google, if you have a contract and you resign, how they go take you to court?
No, but what they're asking, that's why they ask us not to resign. MPS message every board member and said to us, do not resign.
So Pastor Google, you guys get a letter.
Right. Trinidad and Tobago, I needed to hear that part. This is Pastor Google putting out information that the PS send information to them because apparently Pastor Chubby sitting on a board and Pastor Chubby telling we that the Prime Minister and we ministers say if them resign, people okay get paid. But the customary actions, because those who represent on the boards are politically appointed. So the customary thing over the years, the government lost election, nobody don't go through no long talk. They get the adequate time, you get your house in order, you resign, you go in your house, you open the door so the country could move forward. Right now, Trinidad and Tobago stuck in a place. We stuck. But again, wait, we get into that. Robin.
Madam Secretary,
I can send me the letter. Message from, no, it was not a letter. Yeah, it was not a letter, it was a message that he's.
Right. So you notice now how my traffic warden conversation come back valid. Listen to what it is the man say. Listen to it.
The message from, no, it was not a letter. Yeah, it was not a letter, it was a message that he sent to us.
Send me the message.
On our WhatsApp group.
Right. So basically, what Pastor Chubby is explaining to us. The other day, last week, when I came to you and I told you that the traffic warden WhatsApp message a woman in the night and tell the woman via WhatsApp, you have an organization going on, serious information to pass. This is not friend thing. You see, after we done handle serious business, those of us who is friend, we could form regroup and pass the information. But no company sit back and rely directly on WhatsApp text. Nobody does that. That is notices. That is irresponsible. So the fact that the PNM was running we whole country on WhatsApp. What noticeness is this here? But let me go again. I like how Wall Street jam him up too.
Just now.
No, you can talk, Alain, you talk.
That us that if we resign,
Yeah.
the staff at the institution will not get paid because we as a board normally sign off on their pay.
How often do you guys do that? How often is that done?
Listen.
We do it every quarter.
So he calling to defend the PNM and I have no information. Listen.
It's done quarterly. So when was the next quarter for the board you was on to get paid? When was the next quarter?
So after the elections,
Yes.
that at that point in time, coming down, we were going to resign. After the election, everybody was ready to submit their resignation letter. And the PS, based on the advice of the minister, would have sent us a request to stay on.
Yeah. Pastor
said it.
I had to hear.
Ms. Bissessa said on Tuesday, she said that there are some board members that we will consider to bring back. She said that.
So listen to this. I just want to be clear.
Well, listen to this.
Is it the PS telling you all to stay on or the minister?
The PS on the advice of the minister. But the PS would have had to tell the minister, this board, we are requesting for this board to stay on. And the minister, and when he explained to the minister, she said, if that is the situation, then I am asking you all to ask the board if they can stay on, please.
But
listen to me. Remember when I started the program explaining to you that I'm disappointed in Miss Penelope Beckles? The reason for this is Pastor Chubby, he can't come out and pull off a stunt like this on his own. They have to sit down and talk about this because he representing his party, he representing his group, and obviously he representing some board that he was sit down on. So me didn't even realize that Street 91.9 was so big that is a state board. I didn't realize that. So now today we find out things that 91.9 is a state board because for the how much years we see Pastor Chubby saying down there. So listen to me. Pastor Chubby now is trying to explain to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago basically what it is he's telling you. Now mind me, this call where he called this man, this show is not a local showing. This is not a local programming. So this is the representation Pastor Chubby is trying to convince us that our Honorable Prime Minister, Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessa, who came out and told us straight, no, them boards, we're going to have to scrap some of them boards. We need to get the boards up and running. Obviously, listen what I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, the normal procedure, the governing authority that wins the election appoints the board that governs the country going forward. They send their selections, the president do the swearing in, and brothers and sisters head off to work. That has been the customary, the norm for years. From CPEP comes straight back wrong, that has been the norm. But the bully activities and the bully attitude that the PNM manifests over the past 9 years, he should be called Pastor Satan, not a pastor, not Pastor Chubby. Yeah, let me put this. No, they are demons. They are demons. Have a pastor that's talk too long in Point 14 here, better be the street. Short little Indian man. But boy, when Ministry opened his mouth, you could hear Ministry in Port of Spain. And when he sat the call, he said, them demons. When not PNM, because he don't talk politics. But when he opened his mouth to talk, the little Indian man, he loud, he powerful. Let me explain something there. This pastor utilizes his credential. He utilizes his family reputation. He's a married man with children. So to start with, you're representing God. Your second form of most important representation is supposed to be your family. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a conversation with Pastor Chubby, and Pastor Chubby explaining to the host that he's sitting on a state board to start with. The next thing is he put out content trying to convince and cause mishap, cause friction, cause panic in Trinidad and Tobago because we listened to our Honorable Prime Minister spoke about the structure of state boards. He is trying to convince us that she texts them via WhatsApp and tell them to stay on because if they retire, people wouldn't get paid. Utmost rubbish. utmost dotishness. Don't get yourself in that stupidness. But for the clarity of exposing garbage, we will get this out of the way.
Here's my problem. You were saying it is signed on a quarterly basis. The election was April.
I was telling you first, trying to get into the dynamics of something that I don't really want to talk about.
No, but wait, you called to talk about something and you don't want to talk about it? You're called to try to clear up something and you're not clearing it up.
Yeah, but
you're muddying the waters.
I am saying to you, Wall Street, yes, saying to you, this is what I called to tell you, that why you all are calling on us to resign.
Because you want all of it to go. Resign, go.
Your ministers are telling us to stay.
Yeah, when you say the minister, I will call the minister, you know. You're saying the minister. I will call the minister.
Call the minister?
You just said it's the PS on advice of the minister, right? Correct?
The PS would have the PS have to tell the minister because the minister now coming in. The minister would not know.
So all of the ministers, right? All the ministers.
No, if the minister don't know, and the PS has to give the advice to the minister, say, minister, we need this board to stay on to sign off on X, Y, and Z.
But Pastor Google, that doesn't make sense. Because you say they get paid quarterly.
Well, PS, you ask the board to stay on.
All right, okay. All right.
Was it big maths in that Wall Street? Were you making up a big issue on a bacchanal?
What?
Now listen, Pastor Chubby. Listen, Pastor Chubby testify on behalf of the PNM and the structure. Listen.
But it is a big issue. What about the flip their board? The flip their board and the woman, they ask her to resign and she don't want to resign. Flip their whatever it's called. Yeah, whatever it's called. Flip
no, that's what they call it. Flip their
Okay, all right. Flip them. All right, flip them.
Right.
Okay.
You see where they hold on to? You see where you hold on to? Flip deco, all kind of deco. At the end of the day, there's still corruption and it's poor representation. That is what we understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you the next question. You still want Heinz to sue me?
Listen to me. I ain't called for worship. You made a statement, and you asked me to clear up my statement.
But you're not clearing it up. You're muddying the water.
Let me play it again. Let me say it again. Wall Street, I am a member of a board.
Okay.
When election night, all of the board members were ready to resign. The PS told us to not resign. Right?
Okay.
The PS would have said to us, don't resign.
Okay.
The PS would have then spoken to the minister, the new incoming minister, and said, Minister,
who's your minister? Who was your minister for your board?
What you're seeing that are not clear enough.
Okay.
So the PS went to the minister and said, Minister, we would like for this board to stay on because we would like for them to sign off on X, Y, and Z. The minister said, okay, could you ask them to stay on? The PS then sent a message to us stating that the minister is requesting that we stay on to X, Y, and Z.
Okay. And you go send me the message, right?
I will send you the message, but I just wanted to make sure that you play up.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me explain something to you. You see everything that you now hear coming from that pastor? I'm sorry for the people who have to go and face his Sunday. I'm sorry for the people who he praying for. I want to apologize for running a whole record of lies for a man who represented as a pastor in the country. I apologize to all you. But it caused some problem. So at the end of the day, I told all you, because he keeps saying ministers and the ministers and them say, because you know Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa already appoint her ministers and Ms. Kangalu done swearing everybody. So ministers he keeps saying. So then my responsibility, my member of parliament down in Point, he's a minister. Well, I call he, well, I happen to get through it here on the phone. Saying I like that. Let's see what saying. You notice he was fumbling when Wall Street asked him to name the minister. So here is. I call my minister down in Point 14. Member of Parliament talk to me. Felix, listen to me. You know how this thing does go to get yourself tied up, tick. Yes, but we have to explain to the people because it's causing problems. And remember, nothing can move in the country until we get the boards. No money can spend, nothing can be done until we get the boards. And ladies and gentlemen, I just check what I'm telling you here. First, the UNC minding the business. I could just give you a little homework here to go back on yesterday's post with Miss Khadija Amin and Dave Tanko and them outside yesterday. You're going to notice that we boy Mehu, all of them was outside yesterday. Go back and listen to that clipping. And you're going to notice that a piece where Miss Khadija Amin was talking. And what she was asking, I just smiled because she wanted to know this backhoe. Who controlling this backhoe? Because brothers, we have no board. Without no board, you have no money, you cannot go forward really. So things have to be done. So the local government minister jumpstart because the passageways and them seriously clogged. We have to do something. But it's not like they just letting any and everybody just do the thing. They're minding the business accountability. What I heard here, when I see she asked for the breakdown and they was breaking it down for her, I just shake my head and say, yes, boy, accountability. That is what we want. And the fact that they're having these conversations in the public domain, that shows that what Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar say, if you're doing business with the government and you don't want your name to call, don't do business with the government. Talk that. I want to bring out audio from one of our ministers, the Minister of Housing, because again, state boards control these things and he keep talking about ministers and ministers ask them to stay on and they wouldn't get paid. Now I must tell you, I linked Mr. Arnold Roberts and my responsibility is to let you know that Mr. Arnold Roberts, who when was in opposition, who basically didn't take no day off and give nobody no excuse, continue to work on behalf of Trinidad and Tobago while every morning get up and make sure and keep us informed. The same Mr. Arnold Roberts, the same UNC, the same coalition, they say win election. They kick TC to the side. They bust up heavy head and push it to the side. They break Felix's foot and drag it down to the side. Listen to the names of the people that I am telling you that we are dealing with. Brothers and sisters, me here representing my personal opinion. I will put in my take in it. I might speak or either speak. But when I regurgitate in what I gather from the government. And listen, as much as you're listening to this conversation here, I want you to listen to the words coming out from the minister because they're telling all you that they win the election and all of them go on about the business because that's in typical PNM style. When they win the election, they go on about the business. They don't send no updates. When you're asking questions, they doesn't answer. And I am telling you, the United National Congress, the coalition, brothers and sisters, they're here for the people. So let me bring this audio. This is concerning the same rubbish audio where we now hear from Pastor Lyad, Pastor Chubby, Pastor can't keep it straight, Pastor given an opportunity to collapse your African brothers' business. You hypocrite. And then turn around and blame all the Indians in the country, but all they're wicked, all they're abnormally wicked. Listen how my minister had to link me back now. Now I have enough sense to know that was a coffee. I like him bad. Remember, boy, I have enough sense to know because while I said it, I never said it wasn't to the man.
One time I'm taking out for that because I don't remember that this is your Waziras do your thing.
Because I tried to call him first.
Yeah, please, my show is 12 o'clock. I need an answer from you, please. Pastor Google call Wall Street and explaining to Wall Street that our minister, he ain't giving no name, and the Prime Minister asked the boards and them to stay home. So basically what they're putting out is that UNC causing confusion. Just clarify that for me, please. I'm sending you the audio now. Now, all I know is dotishness asking you, but just for peace sake.
Now, mind me, from that is me sending
This
the same Wall Street audio. Now, mind me, this is Mr. Arnold Roberts answering me. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to explain something to you. Last night, I went down point 14. I was in point after 10. After 10, my member of parliament was seeing people in point 14. Yesterday morning when I started calling around people because we just tried to connect very early with each other down in Point 14 here. 10 past 5, the first person walked into the Member of Parliament office yesterday morning. 10 past 5, 10 after 5 a.m. appointment start. And you know what? The people showing up. Because brothers and sisters, the amount of years of neglect at Point 14, I could imagine what going on in the laboratory has faced on every part. Every part. So when you hear brothers and sisters like ourselves, because I'm Indian living in Point 2, and you hear we tell you that PNM doing wickedness, there's nobody not against PNM. That is what they did. That is what they did. So don't vex with people for talking the truth. So me now had to send this level of rubbish because they're surfacing. And now we get to understand that Pastor Chubby was sitting on a board. So we government have more work to do now to figure out what board this boy qualified. Because I remember you collected some money from a former prime minister and you didn't went to school. So me I know what either way. Let me go again. This is Mr. Anil Roberts, our Minister of Housing, Doubles, and Coffee. We're talking about Mr. Keep your update. Mr. Do my research. Mr. Don't play with my put you in your place quick. Mr. Don't talk no racial talk wrong me. This is Mr. Anil Roberts. Anil, big up yourself if you see this live today, brother.
Bossman, let me be very clear that I'm going to respond to anything about Pastor Google twice. First and last. Okay, out of respect for you.
Now listen. First and last. You hear how the man started thing. Out of respect for you. The market on social media, the market all in the news, they talk all kind of talk. UNC them use TC and Heavy and Felix and them. Kick them to the curve. Yet still, I run an audio from active ministers. There we go.
Don't ever waste time listening to Pastor disgusting lying Google if he even is a pastor.
Hence the reason why, after the audio finished, I apologize to you for allowing you to listen this garbage. Because again, we have a country to run. Let me go.
Okay? The UNC, the Prime Minister, the ministers, not one person in the UNC, the National Executive, any constituency executive, not one person want any PNM board to stay anywhere. Not even for a minute. They should have all resigned by 7:45 p.m. on April 28 in the night when the cutoff was clear. All right? Now, if you're going to message me anything, message me thing with sense.
Listen.
I don't want and I will never answer any question about Pastor flipping Google. The next one, the ugly one, none of them. All right, brother? Don't use my number for nonsense. Bless.
You understand what we're dealing with? We're dealing with ministers who not on plain thing. You see what I'm telling you? When they try to tell you about they put Anil, Philip, David Lee, by any PNM person asks you or tell you anything, your responsibility is supposed to ask them, what was your contribution for the past 10 years? What did you do? I remember Anil was in opposition. I remember Philip was in opposition. What did you, David Lee was in opposition. What did you do? You understand what's going on with the ministers? Don't send me garbage. Send uplifting thing. And let's say that people who are looking for help, people who are complaints about shortcomings. This is what it is. All are we connected about. This is what it is. We connected about. So let me explain something to you, Trinidad and Tobago. Just like the computer video. So you see how I come back and get my ricochet, but I had to do that in order to show we execute a couple of things here this afternoon. Because since the election, It have a group of people marketing the content. That boy, UNC kick them to the curb, and UNC this and UNC kick nobody to the curb. UNC trying to get the boards up and running so that they could run and govern Trinidad and Tobago efficiently. They're trying to get the board members installed so that the board members could make positive contribution and link Trinidad and Tobago efficiently. Mr. Alexander already put out a structure. Listen to me, my police have to get irrelevant equipment. We can't spend money there because body want to retire. PIPDEPCO firing people with a board that is not recognized by our current administration. So then what PIPDEPCO doing is putting us in a position so that we can end up getting sued. We could end up paying a set of resources to people who was unjustly fired, unjustly dismissed, unjustly sent home by people who had the opportunity to run and govern the structure. And when you look at the contributions that they give, because we were minding our business overall, there was not smooth activities on the port. Let me be real. There was not smooth activities when it comes to doing roads. There was not smooth activities when it comes to maintaining schools. It did not have smooth activities to deliver an adequate water supply to the houses of Trinidad and Tobago. When it comes to the school book, and the school book assistants with helping out, not one sector in this country was running efficiently. Dalbelly, big up yourself. Randine, big up yourself. Robin, everybody who up. Bless, good afternoon, Williams, everyone who up. George, everybody who up. But let us be real and reasonable. The structure that the PNM used, those persons that they used, they were followers alone. In order to be a good leader at some point in time, you had to be a good follower. But in order to evolve to being a leader at some point in time, you must have some sort of idea, some sort of conscience, some sort of direct support. And not one of them spoke one word under the former administration. The PNM was allowed to do what they want in this country. They did what they want. They put the 1%ers, they say, they put the Syrian in place. They put the Indian in place. They put the Chinese in place. Listen on, look at all the businesses we get robbed. The basic African that trying their best to do good. They put them in place. Everybody get robbed. You can't own a vehicle in the country, they come in and take it. You can't buy a Christmas tree there, you're getting robbed. And don't bounce your head and tell people that you come from the East Indian community. You is a damn target. That is facts in this country. You are a target. And the fact that African brothers and sisters, those who represent, they put our nation into a position of being divided. They divide the nation. Today we are Pastor Chubby coming up to defend a conversation instead of coming up to apologize for the nastiness that he practiced because he was given an opportunity on an African Man radio and you used the opportunity not to bring ads, not to bring support, not to pray. You use it to cause division. You promoted racialism. Go and tell your lawyer that. You're wicked. This is what you did in another man's business, a black man business. You allow all the ads, everybody to vacate. You left the man business place dormant. Today you back out and about, lying again, confusing again, practicing wickedness again. And the sad thing with it, ladies and gentlemen, the sad thing with it is when they do it, and you listen them talk overall, them telling you they're doing that because Indian people racial. They're telling you they're doing that because African ain't getting opportunity because Indian people blocking Indian people. But he calling Wall Street to say that he was sitting on a board. So you had power in the PNM. You've been speaking to the PNM supporters. And you ain't bring no support, no redress to Lavantil. All they leave Silots in the same condition. All they left Shagaramas down in the same condition. All the youths crying out. The East-West corridor, everybody crying out. They're bawling. All they ignore them. All they ignore them. Today we sitting with a mixed government. Catch yourself, boy. Catch yourself, catch yourself. You don't have the authority to preach no conversation, to try to bring no dispute, to make us believe that we're not entitled to an Indian Prime Minister. You're fast and you're out of your place. You're talking rubbish and promoting division. Pastor Chubby. Miss Penelope, I sit back and I listen to my Prime Minister talk. My Prime Minister have not hold a press conference to drag you down. My Prime Minister, let we know all his old school comrades. My Prime Minister know that you're sitting in opposition. My Prime Minister also understands the importance of an opposition. And you are given an opportunity to represent and build back your party. Not one person in the UNC called none of us who does do social media and ask us to speak anything negatively about the PNM. Everything they ask us to do is to give information. Did you hear this? You hear what Ravi say? You hear what Alexander say? You hear what Kiza say? You hear what they are saying? You see what Kadisha are doing? Give the people the information. Let them know that there is hope. Today, my conversation, Trinidad and Tobago, you might say, since the 28th, we win the election. You might say that we are approaching a month. Thank you. You might say, ladies and gentlemen, they might say, well, let me tell you something. My Honorable Prime Minister, she understands her responsibility. Based on how Anil talked to me, he understands his responsibility. I tell you, I talked to my member of parliament. Well, once you hold on to he in charge of information. Bring it as clear as day for me. So I want to encourage. Chip back to number one, to my traffic wardens. There's a young lady that walked and talked shoulder to shoulder with Ms. Kamala Prasad-Bissessa. Matter of fact, that young lady is the president of the PSA. I want to encourage the traffic warden body, because based on what I get to understand, it have some brothers and sisters from the traffic warden that is part of the PSA. But the majority that is needed for a proper representation, they don't have. So I want to encourage you. I want to urge you. Please. Matter of fact, to my sisters who working in the traffic warden, all you reach out to me. I have a number to give you. I need you to join the union. You need that representation. You need the relevant persons to support you. Do that going forward. And you ain't joining the union to fight the government, because you're sitting with a government that endorsing progress. You're joining a union just in case. You remember the last time when we panicked? The last time when we panicked and we say we are voting UNC. You remember how many people come and dead since that time with 10 years? A government in power. Roads are fixed. Schools are fixed. The economy are fixed. 10 years because of a panic. 10 years. They give you vaccination. They didn't come back with the information. I still trying to understand when the conversation came in that Mr. Roshan Parasram taking his leave. I am 100% sure. This is just me. I watched Parasram contribution along the way. It had certain timing when the UNC was in opposition. and they were making statements. If you follow back some of them things, Mr. Parishram was agreeing with some of the things they say. But remember, he's serving under the PNM. So with typical PNM style, and a fella watching the money, he pat down. He pat down. And the PNM again was allowed to spread misinformation, propaganda, cause mayhem. Trinidad and Tobago, we need our boats. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, I need you, when you had a chance, go up and look up. You could just hit Google and ask the question. State boards in Trinidad and Tobago, find out who have the power, how often it does change, why it does change. Your state board, your government, this is the people we vote for. We appoint a group of people to form our government. But hear this, your state boards come like your second government. Their role is just as important because they're dealing basically with the fabric. The governing authority structure, them just come up with ideas too, but their responsibility is to make sure and get the allocations, make sure that everything is there. The state boards have the responsibility, them spending it, them paying, if you catch where I'm coming from. So they come like a government. And if under the PNM structure, they were not effective, everything is in the basement. And as far as I see, all those who sit in state boards who was appointed by the PNM, where they're basically telling us the condition that our country is in, they were comfortable with that. Well, we the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we here to say today that we're not comfortable with it. Or it did not represent us fairly, or it did not represent us efficiently. And on top of that, a lot of all they practice racialism, or they talk down on Indian people, or they talk down on African people, or they made us feel less than. All they utilize the power that all they have because all they think all they was prime ministers. All they think all they is major police officers. All they think all they is commissioner of police. This is the only reason why all let us walk the road and talk to people like that. Why all let us discuss and treat people all the responsibilities to make people feel less than. New York, big up yourself. Everyone who's a worker, listen to this thing here. We keep it up, and this is so true. Everyone who's a worker in Trinidad needs some sort of protection, and that is so true. That is so true. Himself a pastor is nothing but the revenue trash. No one should be touching so much bitterness and hate and behavior. Has to be Lucifer. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, to all my people, no problem, to all my people, this platform with Brother Reuben, with Brother Felix, is all about love, respect, support. Race should be. Dalbelly, big up yourself. Big up yourself, and thank you very much for the continuous love and support. Trinidad and Tobago, those of you who now tune in for the first time understand what is being done here. We have conversation that we have to talk, and everybody cannot talk the same set of talk. So understand, as much as we're talking about state boards, as much as we're talking about traffic wardens, we're dealing with different issues. You have a next matter to come to you with somebody, Jesus Christ. Somebody sent me a thing with a family that a child with I think it's cerebral palsy, and they reached out to the governing authority, the former administration, and the person has been in that position for the longest. The family had to lead their work because it's serious, complicated issues. But even if they had the money to hire somebody, it would have been a problem. First is a complicated circumstance, a complicated position. So right now I'm reading through that comfortably, and I had to talk back to the person today because I had to come to you. But I want to get the person's sentiment, how long they're going through it and how much thing. They send me some documentation, but the documentation in state how long the problem start and how long they have been reaching out for the relevant support. Now mind me again, the support that this person is reaching out for is things that, yes, because they're talking little pampers and little other things, but beside that is really the governing authority support, right? So all of our conversations, so I'm just saying this to say, we differently able brothers and sisters can't get no help going forward because we don't have relevant boards. The pension can't raise, you can't think about nothing. This structure and this panic with Faris Harari brought concerning CPET to the CPEP workers of Trinidad and Tobago. The last time Faris and them tell Ole that Ole would get fired was a couple of days before election, and they guarantee Ole if the UNC win election on the 28th, Ole fired, and on the 30th, Ole home and all of that. They told Ole that. Well, I'm going to bring back the video to show Ole. They told Ole that. And look, the United National Congress is utilizing the relevant structure. They don't want to send everybody home, but those who have been practicing racialism, they're entitled to be home in their spaces. That is not the representation that Trinidad and Tobago need. We don't want that. We don't want it. And we have enough sense to know that the fact that the amount of energy that you have to put in, the amount of venom and vigor that you have to put in as a human being to practice them wickedness that was practiced over the years, well, then you have no reason to be represented. That is the reason why people wasn't getting through. That is why social welfare people ain't getting grant. That is why people ain't getting road fix. That is why adequate lighting ain't coming. That is why adequate sidewalks ain't coming. That is why nothing is being done in the country, because those who have the opportunity to sit on boards, who have the opportunity to connect directly with the government ain't doing the part. And them and have enough sense to know that if you are educated economists and the country is collapsing, that is why I don't understand what went on with Obika. I honestly don't understand. He was given an opportunity under the UNC as an economist. They didn't leave you at the sideline. African again, under Miss Kamala Prasad, Miss Sessa again. Remember, UNC was nothing. UNC racial. The guy had no say there. Remember the conversation. But today now I explaining to you that Mr. Obika is an economist. The United National Congress saw it in him, and they gave him an opportunity to speak. They put him in the Senate. And for no reason, that man just jumped off of the fence. But what's Ms. Kamala said the right thing. Those who had to be there would have been there. And those who had no reason to be there, God put the structure in place that they are not there. They are not there. So today we don't have no reason to hold we head and say, well, boy, look how UNC treat them people. No, they choose to make them move. They choose to make them move. The United National Congress and the coalition have a responsibility to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And they take, based on all the information that is outside, based on our prime minister, I should say, based on our prime minister acknowledging that certain things, and she apologized, and listen to me, she made a covenant with us. It ain't happening again. Don't take my kindness for my weakness. We come to work, and it's work we come to. This is not a plain thing. So if you're an Indian and you're ready to walk in Trinidad and Tobago and needed to stay aligned to the United National Congress, the coalition, keep off of some of those news pages. If you are African in this country and you're ready to head off to work, you're ready to bring positive contribution and needed to stay aligned to the Prime Minister and Home Minister's pages. If it is you find yourself as an Indian or a Syrian or a Chinese or whatever your Dogla, your mix, understand. Once you make up your mind that you are a law-abiding citizen and you would be making positive contribution, whether you came from poverty, you came from not having, or for some way, somehow God opened the opportunity and you had the opportunity to be a part of a family that having, let me tell you something. Don't allow your blessing to watch down on people. And let me tell you something who don't have. Don't allow your shortcoming to watch up on people and think that them feel that they're better than you. No. Them and all had a beginning. Them and all had a story where things wasn't bad. Them and all have the conversation. What happening is that you not humbling yourself, so you're not getting to hear nobody else's conversation. This is what's going on. If it is you stick and you hold on to the facts, you would understand that all those who came down on the Fatel Razak, they didn't come down with no bag of money. They didn't come down with that. So every single Indian you pass by and you see a big house, you see a proper vehicle, understand that they didn't come down with no bag of money. So it had to start some way. And I, as an African in this country, let me tell you, because it doesn't hear this on African platforms, it have African people in this country that doing good, that is law-abiding citizens. They are business people too. And when we came here with shackles and we came here with chains, we didn't came here with no bag of money. So everybody who accumulate where they accumulate, especially under the Indian and the African, brother, let me tell you something, is sweat, is work, is toil, is embarrassment, is victimization, is take your strain, and we navigate through together. The fact that today we find ourselves in Trinidad and Tobago victimizing our own selves, being racial towards our own self, pushing division towards our own self. You see, all those who practicing that, cease and desist. Vacate our offices. Please. Please. April 28th, the United National Congress and the coalition with the support with TPP won the election. The governing authority with the leadership of Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar have the listen. The governing authority with the leadership of Ms. Kamala Persad-Bissessar has the responsibility to put the qualified persons to represent us when it comes to our state boards. They basic facts. They facts. So don't let nobody sugarcoat nothing to you. You see this rubbish thing that these Pastor Chubby them talking about? You see those type of things? Those lies? And again, we are waiting to hear the state board that Pastor Chubby was sitting on. Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, again, is all about moving. It's 21 minutes past 2. So I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank you all for viewing. Please, I see 61 brothers and sisters and 30-something reaction. Please like the page. Please share. Please add. Again, before I go, I want to encourage you. When you break in the morning, to stay focused with your conversation. We have the ground report starting the conversation. But while the ground report going on, Mr. Anil Roberts, just give you an update. You're looking out for Mr. Anil Roberts. From Mr. Anil Roberts, remember we have a Breaking Dawn and we have different programs. But 12 o'clock, there are Urban Felix with Real Talk. You're going down 4 o'clock, we have TC and Heavy on Real TV, The Future Talk. We have Mr. Ian Allen. We have a good bit of people. And I always say I have to get the list because we have to get the list and keep calling the list. So nobody don't have to look for nobody. You're looking for positive conversation. You're looking to hear what your prime minister say. You're looking for this. All right, you can hit on 648 page. You can hit on Anil Roberts page. You can hit even on the prime minister page. You can look for Ernesto Raymond Kiza page. Look for your Lakramburu page. Khadija main page. Look for your members. Look for your representative. Look for the people who, when it is we was walking, when we was talking, despite somehow we living in PNM areas, we didn't break in. We're afraid. We come out and let you know yellow is the code and we voting because there's wickedness taking place down here. If you know you fall under that structure, I'm encouraging you, please. And if it is you know that you was a PNM, but you come to terms now that, listen to me, this wickedness was taking place, you don't get TC and Heavy. Sammy, I don't know, you don't have Real TV. If you're looking for Real TV. But I think it's about a little technicality. But Sammy, I know you. So I will try to link with TC and Heavy and let them send back over the link for me, and I will send it for you. Right? This is what it is we do. Let me share the information. Let me share the conversation. So let me start the morning. When you go and pray, all you know we out here, we doing everything as much as we doing everything. All let me get Andy and them that support early in the morning, them opening the day. So make sure when they get up, say that prayers, or let tune in, give them that support, give them the love, give them the encouragement. It's Andy and Mikey K and whoever it is in the background, they had the whole team dealing with the situation, just like me here. We dealing with the situation, or let me give the support. Because let me tell you something. Those of you who celebrating birthdays today, my responsibility is to let you know that all of us in this together, so don't feel celebrating that alone. So I'm telling you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. If it is you're celebrating anniversary, again, you ain't doing that alone. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. And let me tell you something, if it is you're mourning from families and loved ones who lose to violent crimes, unforeseen circumstances, and due to neglect based on ministers' actions. If you know you're in that category, let me explain something to you. We're mourning together. You know why? Because brothers and sisters, is love we're promoting, is unity, is togetherness. I don't have to be talking to you or come by you to drop something and try to interfere with your wife. That level of stupidness, we're not promoting that. That is rubbish, that is garbage, that is nasty behavior. Listen how it is the former administration talking. Brothers and sisters, they have no respect for their leaders. Listen. I don't know if you noticed the audio that I run with Mr. Anil Roberts. He referred back to our Prime Minister. Monitor, if you bounce up Mr. Raymond Ernesto Kiza, he will give you the information and refer back to the Prime Minister. No matter who you meet in this coalition, they refer back to the Prime Minister. Everybody know the place. Everybody rock into suit. Everybody understand the structure of respect and order must be displayed because we expecting that from the citizens. And citizens, if we gain it, I want to encourage all of we support. Let me support it. Look, somebody put up the information here. I'm going to put it on the screen. Right. At Real TV. That is the problem. I think that is the problem with the link there. We just put in Real TV, but it's at Real TV _TT link for TC and Heavy. That is the link there. Right? That is the mistake where we make it because we just put in Real TV and it have a good bit of that. So it's at Real TV. So ladies and gentlemen, again, let me stay focused, let me stay blessed, continue to stay connected. I encouraging you. You know the slogan here is each one help one. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And being a good person is not an option, but that's the only option in today's society. So brothers and sisters, I want to encourage you. Be good. Let me give God the praise, let me give him the honor, and let me give him the glory. My UNC posse, my coalition team, let me stay focused, let me stay blessed, let me stay strong, and let's stay connected. So we Tobago team, all nothing but love and respect. And watch me, we've been monitoring what's going on with Farley and the team and the prime ministers. Based on what it is we see in the conversation is going good. And once we continue to have healthy dialogue, Tobago will receive it at adequate share. Trinidad will continue to represent in an adequate way because we have respectable and responsible leaders that understand the shortcoming that took place. They realized the amount of people that was drastically neglected. Hence the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, my member of parliament, he had to figure out a way. Because as much as they want to see everybody, the amount of neglect, it is so overwhelming. So this is why now my boy had to start to see people from 5:05 in the morning. In the morning. So point 14, all they keep all their ears on the ground. All they know we can get we official office yet again, but people will eventually understand what taking place, you know, because without boards, money can't spend, nothing can go on. Nothing can't move. So this is what I'm telling you. As much as Mr. Alexander spoke about the shortcomings with the police being not equipped enough to fight crime properly, he seriously can't do nothing about it right now. He can't do nothing about it right now. So we need our authority. We need our authority. So brothers and sisters, as much as each and every one of us collectively came together on the 28th, until these people and them resign, or they're tuning into every page, you're tuning into Douglas politics, you're tuning into everywhere, and you're giving the support. Trinidad and Tobago, ladies and gentlemen, again, it's your boy Irvin. I want to thank you for your support. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your endorsement. And remember the slogan here is each one help one. Chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and being a good person is not an option, but that's the only option in today's society. So watch me, I encouraging you, as you go forward, be good. Be good, be good. Because remember, we are Trinbagonian citizens, whether you migrate into here or what.
Islands in the sun.
Whether you migrate into here or what.
Islands in the fun.
Whether you're born here or what. Once you told that red, white, and black flag.
Welcome, welcome, one and all to the land of death. Trinity to the bone. Trinity to the bone.
Indian, African, all of us.
When they come to Bacchanal, well, they can't be free at Trinity to the bone. Trinity to the bone.
To the 868-648 family.
Woman worried abundantly.
Again, before I go, I must thank Facebook Meta for having us, for giving us the opportunity to express ourselves on your platform. Thank you very much.
We're nothing in the world about me. But look at smart man gone with money. We still come out and mash off the body. Sweet.
And ladies and gentlemen, as of today, moving forward, you're tuning in at 7 o'clock tonight.
No place.
You're looking for 648 television on YouTube, where you can get the rerun of the day. So all you need to call somebody who knows somebody and let them know. Let them know the thing is about information. It's about respect. It's about togetherness. It's about love. It's about Trinidad and Tobago. Brothers and sisters, family and friends, I love all you. Again, all you know the slogan. Let me stay focused and let me stay blessed. It's all about you. I am out.
Yo. Talk the things them. I sometimes me wonder, you know, where's your humanity? Who feels it, knows it. For real. Question. For the whole world gets so, man heart gets cold like ice so. We don't love one another. Man, I kill brother and sister. So many people get mashed up, cause everybody want rich stuff. Social media promote an agenda. Enough man I get blind to the needs of another. Man I chase wealth and power. Everybody want build big tower. How we get so cool as a people. Cool as a people, yeah. Cause enough man I eat when another one starving. Enough man I laugh when another one crying. Enough man I sleep when another hurting, yes. And some man they beat up when another one struggling. Drive past someone in the rain and walking. But we get so cool as a people. Look on the highway is a mother, cause at the home she's breadwinner, trying to make ends meet. If the son mama do it, so you pass with your glass up. You not care if she lunches a lollipop. So you all by Starbucks, but Jaja take note of your conduct. Oh, that. Cause enough man I eat when another one starving. Enough man I laugh when another one crying. Enough man I sleep when another hurting, yes. And some man they beat up when another one struggling. Drive past someone in the rain and walking. Oh, we get so cool as a people. One man's trash is another man's treasure.